Alright, hey guys, today I'm going to be doing a review for you of the Amazon Basic Stylus. This stylus is actually made for using on like iPad or any other capacitive touchscreen like most Android tablets, and will let you actually do handwriting, hopefully. That's where I'm going to be testing this review. Today I have my iPad 2G covered in fingerprints. Isn't that just lovely? Let's unlock it. Alright, we got a line. That's not what we wanted. Let's just delete this. Alright. Seems to get mad sometimes the rest of my palm on here. That could be a problem for some people, especially when it starts activating the, as you can see here, I have the multitasking gestures. You may want to turn that off. See, it says iPad uses multitasking gestures. You want to turn that off because it messes things up. General, and here you go, under general you have multitasking settings. Let's go ahead and turn this off. Alright, now we are back here in Penultimate. Wait for it to load. Presented by Evernote. Let's delete this page. And now I want to see if I can rest my hand on there. As you can see, it leaves a little ink mark because it counts as a touch. And now we're out of focus. Come on. Alright. Page. It's kind of weird. This section of the screen doesn't seem to work quite right. For whatever reason. I think it might be the angle. You have to set up the stuff when you first start, so here we go. The top of the page has this line of white where you can't draw it off. You start there, it won't let you do anything. You have to actually let go and start there. So it's not a problem. It's not a problem with the pen. It's just a problem with me. So as you can see, I can write in all this area, but if I go above that, it gets mad. Move this stuff out of the way. Alright, we were able to successfully write something. That's my actual handwriting. I do write pretty bad. Let's try to do some more fine. Let's try to do some fine details. To test with that. We're going to try to draw some parallel lines equally spaced. So there's one line. All right. What this is basically going to show you is going to show you that even though this pen does have a pretty big tip, as you can see, it's probably as big as my. It's not as big as my finger. This is probably the smallest size tip you can actually use for a iOS device that will actually register. Anything smaller than this, it won't register at all. This is, I think, 5 millimeters. So, as you can see, I had some trouble at first, but I'm actually able to pretty easily draw lines that are equally spaced. So even though it's a pretty big head, the writing surface that it puts out is pretty small. One other thing we're going to test is consistency. I'm going to try to draw a bunch of dots, tap it on the screen in the same spot a bunch of times to see how consistent it is. If it's far apart, I'll know it's hitting a different spot of this pretty round tip each time. So you have to take into account that it is moving a little bit when I push down on the tablet. But as you can see, all those dots are exactly in where the tip of the pen was. So I don't know if you could see this, but I could definitely. When I was tapping on the screen, sometimes it would hit the top of the digitizer, sometimes it would hit the bottom. Not digitizer, sorry, the pen. So it's going to be somewhere within that range, but it's always going to be within this head. So I wouldn't really suggest this for like fine detailed drawing, definitely not, but if you're just doing basic notes, you can write it out pretty easily. So this is a pretty simple video. All you need to know is this thing actually works pretty well. You can actually do some pretty fine details. Let's try to do a spiral type thing, space it out. I mean, it does exactly what you need it to do. It doesn't cost as much as some of the other options, but it is more expensive than the other pens you may see on Amazon. But from the research I did, this actually works a lot better than the $5 and $10 things, and this is only $15. So you can actually get pretty fine details. You can write out your notes, and if you're using Penultimate, you can actually upload these to your computer. So if you're in a class or whatever, and for some reason, if you're in a class and it actually let you use your iPad, you can actually take notes on there. The only problem is, because of the not so fine tip, it's kind of hard to do small things. Like if I wanted to write inside this line, it's really, really hard to get fine details. So I mean, when it's bigger things, that's fine, but you're going to be constantly doing new page, and you're going to be like, and just writing inside that line is kind of hard for me. So let's go back. So, I mean, it's not impossible to write in these lines, but these small lines are probably the smallest you can do. So if you're looking for some extremely fine detail, you're probably going to have to spend a little bit more money on a more fancy pen. But again, you have to have this size. You can't have anything smaller than this. So if you're looking for a pen that's not too expensive, will actually let you do hand-drawn notes like I'm doing right here, then this is definitely what you'll want to pick up. You can actually write, and if you hopefully you have better handwriting than me, but this is legible for me. I can read that. I can import it to my computer and just type it up when I get to my laptop. But if I only had it with my iPad, it would be nice to be able to handwrite stuff as opposed to typing it out. Even though I do have a Bluetooth keyboard, I can write much faster than I can type. So, like I said, the only problem would be is if you have really small letters, or letters that are close together, like this. The digitizer has a pretty big surface, so we actually won't be able to get all those fine details. That's me trying to write YouTube, and even though my handwriting is bad, I know it comes out better than that. So again, for handwriting notes, if you don't mind writing pretty big, I didn't spell very well, then it actually works pretty well. I'm not sure why it deleted what I just typed, but again, software-based problem. So far all the issues I had were software-based, except for this scene is not very fine. There are some better options. If you Google search top 10 styluses for iPad, you'll find some options that are better, but they all cost over 50 bucks. So again, you want a budget stylus, go with this. It comes with 3 tips. The back is actually a tip 2, so you can see you write with it, but it's actually thicker. And if you take this out, there's another side that's slightly bigger than this one. But again, bigger surface means that you don't get as fine details. But for whatever reason your device doesn't like the smaller tip, you can use the bigger one, or even the biggest one, which is what would be an eraser. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you all later. Bye.